They called him Baba Yaga. Not because he was a monster, because he was the one you send to kill the damn monster. John Wick wasn't just a name. They whispered it like a curse, like a legend, because his name meant one thing: inevitable. But what no one ever talks about is why. Why did John Wick become what he became? It wasn't the suits. It wasn't the guns. It wasn't the violence. It was the discipline, the silence, the obsession, the years in the dark that no one saw. You see, John Wick lived by a code long before he buried his past, and the code was simple: work hard in silence, shock the world with your success. No quotes, no flexing, no status updates, just relentless action when no one was watching. He buried his pain in practice. He buried his grief in mastery. He wasn't chasing applause. He was chasing precision, perfection, peace, until they took the one thing that gave him peace. Then the world remembered who he really was. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to bleed for it. Nobody wants to grind like the legends do when the lights are off and the crowd is gone. You want to win? Good. But are you ready to suffer? Because winning hurts. Every inch of greatness is bought with pain. You think John Wick woke up with that focus? Number. That man forged himself, strike by strike, hour by hour. While the world slept, he trained. While others complained, he improved. While the weak made excuses, he sharpened his blade. I once heard someone say, "I went 5 straight years without missing a single workout." That's the Wick mindset. 365 days, no breaks, no bailouts. There are days when you're broken. There are days when you're aching. Days when the world spits in your face. And on those days, especially on those days, you show up. You go to war with the version of yourself that wants to quit. Because it's not about motivation. It's about discipline. You think you can just want success into existence? You think the greats wish to be great? Number. They bled for it. They broke for it. They outlasted the storm. They earned it in silence. Stephen Curry didn't become a legend by being liked. He became a legend by never settling. Swishing 5 free throws before leaving the gym, every time, no exceptions. He conditioned his mind to expect excellence. John Wick never missed a shot. Not because of luck, but because he'd rehearsed the kill 1,000 times before the trigger ever got pulled. You want to dominate? Then demand greatness from yourself in the dark. When nobody is clapping. When nobody believes in you. That is when it counts. Because the truth is, winning isn't loud. Winning doesn't scream. It whispers. It whispers every morning when you lace up, when you show up, when you don't feel like it and still deliver. Everybody can compete when they're rested, hyped, motivated. But who are you when you're tired? Who are you when you've lost everything? John Wick got knocked down. He got broken. But he never stayed down. That's what made him dangerous. Not his aim, his will. Champions don't fake it. Champions don't pretend to grind. They live it. They don't talk about the pain. They carry it. Like Novak Djokovic, who told the world he'd beat Federer when no one even knew his name. They laughed at him. But he saw himself there. He saw himself better. And then he worked to become it. That's how you win. You see yourself beyond the now. You train your vision to outpace your reality. You don't wait for permission to become legendary. You decide, and you go. People look at John Wick and see a killer. I see a metaphor. I see the athlete, the dreamer, the grinder, the underdog. I see the man who buries his excuses and builds a weapon out of his routine. Every representative, every round, every lonely hour. That's what turns a name into a legacy. When you bleed for your craft, you don't fear failure. You welcome it. Because every loss is a teacher. Every mistake is a blueprint. Serena Williams didn't fear losing. She used it. She grew from it. She fell, then rose, then ruled. That's what the greats do. They don't stop. They level up. They listen. They learn. They adapt. Because winning isn't a goal. Winning is a result. And the result belongs to the one who stayed in the shadows, perfecting the invisible. Winning is what happens when your preparation meets the spotlight and shocks the world. Like when Kobe stepped up, game on the line, and took the shot, not because he hoped it would go in, but because he'd already made that shot 10,000 times. Alone. In silence. You want to look effortless? Then you have to suffer when nobody's looking. You want to be undeniable? Then get so good they can't deny you. When people say you make it look easy, what they don't see is the years of grind behind that smile, the tears behind that win, the endless repetitions, the sacrifices, the solitude, the missed parties, the broken relationships, the rejection, the doubt. You think John Wick wasn't afraid? He was. But he moved anyway. He took that step, even when he didn't know if the floor would hold. That's belief. That's obsession. That's power. Most people want comfort. You want legacy. That's different. That requires pain. It requires faith. It requires every inch of your soul poured into your craft. John Wick wasn't fighting for revenge. He was fighting for purpose, for honor, for the last piece of him that the world couldn't take. What are you fighting for? You better believe the road to winning is infinite. Steps upon steps upon steps. Some solid, some slippery, some invisible. But you keep climbing, you keep swinging, you keep showing up, because deep inside you know the next step might be the one that breaks the dam, the one that sets you free, the one that finally proves you were right to believe when no one else did. So don't post your grind, live it. Don't announce your goals, attack them. Don't ask for permission, earn respect. Don't chase applause, chase mastery. Let the results speak. Let your actions become the only introduction you'll ever need. Because the ones who win are the ones who endure, who suffer in silence, who love the darkness because they know that's where diamonds are made. You want to win like John Wick? Then be willing to become invisible. Be willing to disappear into the grind until your return shocks the world like thunder from a clear sky. So take that shot. Get back up. Lace your boots. Sharpen your mind. Trust the process. And remember this. You don't have to scream to be powerful. You don't have to boast to be unstoppable. You just have to believe. You just have to build. And when the time comes, let your silence speak for itself. Because the most dangerous person in the room is the one who's already done the work.